Hello, OSL, and welcome back to the final day of Week 1 finals, where we have already seen the unfortunate departure of Leopard and Renewal. That being said, Gospel and Resurrection will be going forth into the semi-finals next week, but who will they play? We'll have to wait and see. Now, on the cards tonight at 6 p.m. We have Zetsubou versus Sanity. The winner of this match will be versing Resurrection, their sets being Mastermind on the Wrecker's Yard, which is a pick of Zetsubou, Cenobite on the Father Campbell's Chapel, which is a pick of Sanity, and Plague on Family Residence 1, which is the tiebreaker. But later on tonight at 7:30, we have Void and Kaido Kids. The winner of this match will be versing Gospel, but their sets are Lich on the Dead Dog Saloon, which is a pick of Voids, Demogorgon, which is on the Wrecker's Yard, a pick of Kaito Kids, and Blight on Gas Haven, which will be the tiebreaker. Now, on the cast with me tonight is Big Muscles himself, Jarms. What's happening, man? What's happening?
Thank you for that swell introduction, Big Muscles. You are the Big Muscles, mate. But no, it should be a good match. This is probably one of the more one-sided affairs of our first round matchups. But with all that being said, I still expect Sanity to give their 1000%. And they do have very, very capable players such as Ranger and Supersaurus and even Josh Nosey, who are going to be on the Survivor team as we load in. So that will be meaning Sense Killer will be first bowler. I actually skipped over the sets in my head. I didn't hear what you said, so I apologize for that. But I'm assuming it probably something like a mastermind.
Mhm.
It is the mastermind.
It is the Mastermind.
Just too good, mate. But yeah, everyone knows Sense Mastermind is pretty classy, so it will be tough regardless. Either way, for Sanity. But I'm expecting good things.
110% definitely now going into this. We can expect anywhere between 4Ks to maybe even, oh, well, outs is like a bit of a stretch, to be honest, when we're talking about a killer like Sen. I think he's 4K'd most of his games this season. But we'll have to wait and see. We have Neckbeard, Nolsey, Supersaurus, and Ranger on the Survivor side. So a very strong team, if you will, for the OCE side of things. Now looking at Nolsey just spawning in on the 11 side of this map, we do have a little bit of heartbeat reading going on. So Sen already traversing all the way to the top side of the map, where we'll be spotting Ranger, unfortunately out of position and unaware of where Sen is pulling up this power, now taking the God Vault into Shaq, pre-dropping that instantly. The Vault coming in. We have already used Shaq in, we're only 30 seconds into the game, but we are making good use of it. Ranger being able to make enough distance to run all the way to the 9 side of the map, over to more of the uncorrupted gens, which is a really interesting path. I think that he realized that, unfortunately, and now going down in mid 12. A very quick and early chase here. Oh, head-on save! That has to be Nosey. If that's not Nosey, then I don't know who that is, Giles. Well, that's absolutely crazy. We're going to continue on the chase back on to Ranger now, and we've bought ourselves a little bit of time with the unfortunate start that we've had so far.
Yeah, that was actually solid awareness. I was actually about to ping Ranger there for I don't know, getting caught out of position in a sense. Sort of ran mid-9, didn't really make the top 12 area, which I'm assuming he was trying to make. But obviously, 2 steps ahead of me. And I'm able to jiggy that on the debris there as well. So this chase is lasting a little bit longer than what Sen would like. There's that classic Sen movement coming out, trying to swing through it on the edge map side. So Ranger's going to be able to get more distance now. Chooses to stay at the edge map filler though. Very classy. Does get the down in the end. But we do see mid-9 pop in the background. So honestly, all things considered, quite a very good start. Wanted to make one note of one thing though. Sen bringing Agi, I could be wrong, Tavi would know, but I don't think he's ever brought Agi in a trial. We see 2 gens in the background, so a bit more detrimental than one may have thought beforehand, Buller.
No, definitely. And now with the pain race not coming in time, unfortunately, there will still be 4 stacks remaining. So we don't have any other pressure on the map at the moment. But yes, 2 gens for what seemed to be a very rough start is very good for the side of Sanity. Now taking this stun is Neckbeard, who will be just aura walking back behind that rock. Sen's not going to have any of it. He's going to go back to the hook and continue on this tunnel out onto what seems to be Ranger injured. Nolsey coming in for the protection, hit the pre-drop of this pallet. Going in the locker, we heard that. We know he's the head-on, and he's getting it again! That is twice this man has done this to Sen. That is absolutely crazy. Ranger is able to break away chase all the way to the broken bus, but it is bugged. There is no window. He's going to have to opt to die to the corner of the map, and that is just Oh, if only behavior wasn't being behavior and we had that window to work with. Or if it's on the other side, I don't know, it could be in the back window, but from what I had gathered, I'm pretty sure. There's not even a pallet inside. Maybe it's on the outside of the bus, but it does seem to be a little bit bugged. I'm not too sure. I didn't get a good look at the back of the window there, Jams.
Yeah, I still even feel like that head-on, beautiful head-on from Nosy too, 2 for 2 as you said. I still feel like Ranga had enough distance to make that bus. Got a bit caught up on the debris there, so a savior and also a curse for him this game. But we are gonna swing and we are gonna hit neckbeard. That's quite a bad tag to give out right near this hook as well. So the good start might be crumbling a bit, and the pillar is dropped. So Sen's gonna just try and jiggy around. Sorry, neckbeard that is gonna try and jiggy around. Does have the life. Is able to get the pull. Is forced into a trade scenario, which is not actually the worst thing for Sen here. He can actually perform quite a quick chase. Does take the tag onto Supersaurus, so Ranga can make it all the way deep six. Good altruistic plays from Sanity, which is very, very good to see from them. I'm very impressed. As long as Ranga can hold a decent chase here, and on this filler, I'm not too sure how possible this is. He sort of just pre-sent it, and Sen on his pig shit just gonna swing through. Goodbye, Ranga. GG's. 2 gens in the troll, 2 injured left, 1 bloke gone. It's not looking good, bruv.
A very good prediction swing there from Sen is going to spell the end of Ranga. But all things considered, definitely from the start that these guys have, they've been able to put up the pressure, and we'd love to see it. Now Sen going to be going over to this 11 side of the map where he knows that the reset onto Neckbeard will be happening after that pull. He's going to opt to go continue this chase, and I am smashed. There's nothing wrong with the bus. There was just no window over in the middle of it, but we do note that this bus has posed a little bit of problems currently. Nevertheless, will be still taking chase onto Neckbeard, but not falling for any of the Sen mind games, and he is just going to be dubbing away from that. That is absolutely crazy. Very well played by Neckbeard. Now we're going to opt to go for something a little bit more in our favor. We're going to take this tag onto Nosy, who doesn't have anything to work with. He's going to have to run to the middle of 12 and just try to make Shaq, try to make it for his life. The Cracker coming in. He's able to buy enough time to deviate all the way back to the God window of the Shack and utilize this pallet over at mid-9, now pre-dropping it and playing the checks box accordingly. Sen getting a little bit lost in the source, trying to do a little bit of mind games to make sure that we force the error onto Nosy, but he's not having any of it. Maybe a little bit of luck, maybe a little bit of skill, who knows, but this man is absolutely wild, and he's just gonna fake the pallet vault to Sen falling for it and just swinging into open air, while in the background we get 12 done as well. Nosy going on an absolutely insane chase for what it's worth, with only a head-on at his disposal and going down, but nevertheless, very good stuff from the man himself.
That is one of your best match staff officials right there. Actually made an admin due to his hard work, bro. So not only is he putting in work behind the scenes, he's putting in work in the scene. What a ripping chase from just Nosy. That is the glimmer of hope that you might need. We do see Super getting caught out with the SB. Abel is going to get thrown in. He doesn't take the tag though because he gets thrown. That is so bad for Sen. He makes that 2 filler now. Nosy gets pulled in the background, and we're going to have to see Super just run full edge. This will be pain res onto Supersaurus, as we do get a nice little rebound, if you will, off the tires there. We're going to drag all the way down 10 mid here. He's eyeing off that hook very, very aggressively. All things considered though, the reset onto Nosy has just come through. It's looking quite good for the survivors after that one chase. And honestly, when you look at the gen split, a bit of stealthing and a bit of, you know, relaxation and not giving away free information and chase, you're looking at some outs. So that's very, very, very impressive. Shout out to Sanity, bro. That's I'm very impressed, guys.
I don't know if I'm watching the same team that I had words with yesterday. They are playing absolutely crazy for what it's worth. Nosy now hopping all the way over at 6, very nice and far away from this hook. Now, yes, like you had said, the generator split is just so vast in this matchup right now, and Sen is going to have to work overtime if he is able to hold this now, opting to go for our tunnel out onto Supersaurus. What can the man pull off? I've heard good things about this man, pre-dropping that jungle gym and now playing around it very very nicely. Not going to opt to go for the window, but going to opt to go for the pallet, but getting caught, unfortunately, very quickly now. That'll be another hook onto Supersaurus. Maybe a little bit more central to the point where we can actually maintain the pressure on mid and mid 9, sorry, and 6 over here. Now we got a nice little vantage point to see if there are any survivors over in this deep pocket of the map, and we do know Nosy is there just stealthing around, just working that generator when he can. Neckbeard is going to have to force to go for this trade, and Nosy's going to have to take this tag and go all the way back down to the top side of the map. He has to last a little bit longer if they are to pull this back. Sen is playing really well with given his scenario now. Good thing to note here is that our game has come to a little bit of a stalemate at the moment, where the pressure can really go either way. It just really depends what happens in this chase, and Nosy getting caught after vaulting that dumpster filler. Now he's going to be taking the hook onto Nosy is Sen, and he's going to go all the way back to where that tunnel out is. We need to get Supersaurus out of the game, and we need to get him out of the game quick if we are to pull this back on the side of Sen.
There was no reset onto Supersaurus coming through, which means he's probably not going to get a spray for a while either in this trial. And we're farming Nosy off the hook. I'm not sure what the idea behind that was. Yeah, fair enough, bro. So unless Nosy pops this gen in, or sorry, Neckbeard pops this gen in the bro's face, I don't really understand the value behind that play. And yeah, we see Neckbeard pre-stealthing off 6, not even really 50. He is going to stealth. Well, he does get caught out here down at deep 6. So that's such a really upsetting play to witness. I'll be completely honest.
No, yeah, definitely. There's not really much room for them to go now, unfortunately. Neckbeard going to be going down at this edge map filler over in the deep pocket over at 6. Now, Nosy, what does he do in this predicament? I think maybe we just opt to go for a little bit more gen pressure, but we've opted to go away from the gens. We do know that the pain res is still in our disposal on the side of our killer. Now, Nosy, he's in a little, he's definitely in a little bit of a precarious scenario. Does he commit the gen or does he go for the unhook? It's pretty much just looking like it is a 4K1. You can never say never to what can really happen in this match, but after being spot out, there's not really many options for him to utilize. So now we're going to have to, play our best possible result, try to I don't really know what you can do here. This is pretty much just 4K1, but yeah, likewise, we're just vaulting into the loving embrace of Sen, and that is a 4K1. Now, like I have said previously, this man is very, very good at pulling back the late to end game scenario, mid to end game scenarios, rather, sorry. Even though you do see on some occasions that he does kind of lose the early game, sorry. He's able to always pull it back just due to his macro, just due to his mechanics, just due to just the little things that make Sen such a great player and such a great player on Zetsubou jumps.
Yeah, I just want to make a note as well. Sanity Survivor team, the altruistic plays were really, really, inspirational. I feel like the chasers themselves were not up to par, and that's something you were talking about with Sen. He has really, really short chase times when he's on the killer, that is. But yeah, no, well played to Sen. That was very, very classy to be able to sustain the pressure that Sanity looked like they were going to be able to, get some outs there. But no, we will go into a really, really brief intermission, and we'll come back with Ranger's killer after this.
And welcome back, OSL, to the second match of the first set, which will be Wesker on the Wreckers Yard. You had just seen Sen pull a 4K1 from what seemed to be a really rocky start. Now we have Zetsubou's survivors, which will be Sen, Baki, Benny, and Strat. Now, I go way back with Benny. I'm not going to lie. We used to do a lot of DBO stuff with the collabs and whatnot back in the day. So, again, a very all-around solid player and a solid lineup. You have Sen and Baki, just notoriously known across the OCE region. And you have Stract himself, the man himself, ex-captain of Source and whatnot. Now, you do have Ranger on the side of Sanity. So, I've yet to see Ranger's mastermind, to be honest, because, this wasn't their pick. I don't think I've really seen them play a mastermind set, so be very interesting to see what he can pull out of the hat here.
Yeah, on the contrary, the only one I don't really know too much about would be the bro Benny. Keen to see what he can perform tonight. I know he's one of the OGs. On the other hand, though, yeah, the other three are very, very renowned, very, very high level. I would even go as far as say a couple of them underrated. And if if you know, you know. But honestly, yeah, I do believe in Ranga's ability to play Wesker. He's actually quite a good Wesker. Probably his main killer of choice. Is, like I said, very, very actually quite good on the Wesker. Does have the, as me and the boys would call, the pig shit ping. So, you will see him swing through a couple pallets, and we do see, Sen's got sense, right here on the Jake, right at Shaq. Gonna blind him Volt in the window. Has Champion of Light. So, interesting perk choice to bring in, and that's 20% hindered, Hunter. That is criminal. I didn't know it was 20%.
Yeah, it is a mean perk, and in the hands of Sen, who opts to go for like perks that are not necessarily chase oriented. If you give him those kind of perks, he's going to make great use of them. Just base game being very good on the tiles and whatnot. Now the pre-drop coming in from our Jane, which will be Baki. Baki got banned. I'm loving some of these names. He's going to be slammed into the broken four walls, now taking chase all the way down to Shaq. Has to pre-drop to make enough distance. We do see Sen come in with the flashlight, and now the body block coming in potentially, but we're going to opt to kick this generator at first, and we're going to maybe continue with the chase, but we're getting a little bit lost. Okay, we see some scratch marks are heading all the way over to 2, but we see the blood pools heading all the way over into 11, deep into our corrupt. This is a very good spot to be taking chase. We have a very nice pallet here just outside of the bus as well, quite similar to last game. Do we have the window open? And yes, we do. It is facing in the exact orientation that we had last game. Nevertheless, taking the chase back onto Baki and slamming that pallet down instantly and opting to die into the 11 corner will just facilitate the fact that maybe, just maybe, we will see somewhere like 4 or 3 pop in the background, but if we're able to get a pain res, maybe we can deny that on the side of our killer here. Ranga playing very good for what it's worth. A very much more forgiving early game than what we had seen from Sen in the last game. Now, the pain res coming in. We do hear Shaq in the background. Maybe they are 3 splitting. I'm not too sure what the game plan is here. If we get a quick flick around, we can see, yes, Nicholas Cage on the 7 gen, which is Benny. If we can get a flick to our next survivor, we will be seeing... We will be seeing Struck in chase, and he was working 3 that whole time. So, Jarvis, it looks like we're going for a little bit of a 3 split here. I can't lie.
Yeah, he does have the loss. I think Sen's gonna play a bit, my word of the week, esoteric. Likes the sprint burst, likes the fixated. Has the build. We see Struck kind of getting, lack of a better word, pretty much 2-tap sort of. Was able to make a good death spot, I think, at 12. Not too sure about the surrounding gens. Oh yeah, it does have good gens. Shorter towards the mid to bottom area. Not really great gens, I'm gonna be completely honest. But yeah, they're really pumping out Shaq. Benny down there on 7, it would be smashing that gen out. Once he pops that gen, Ranga's sort of a bit cooked, and Benny's gonna pop that. Now Ranga's gonna have to resort to that top left region that you can see right behind him right now as we do. But Benny's, yeah, like I said, gonna pop that in his grill. Gonna get jiggy on the bro. Gonna do a reverse jiggy. Takes a tag full edge map. Pull in the background from onto Strack as well. So good comms from Zetsubou. Very, very good comms. And Ranga's just gonna full commit this down deep 6.
We do see the reset over at the top side, and Baki back all the way over to what seems to be the 2 side of the map, just working this generator. So the progress isn't all that great, but it is still adequate at this point in time for our survivors to be pulling this set for the win. Now Ranga going to be taking chase onto our Nicholas Cage, who'll be utilizing this 5 filler, this car filler. Now he's running into the actives, unfortunately. There is 3 and there is 5 just being worked on. This is really unfortunate for the side of our survivors, but very fortunate enough for Ranga. Now we're going to be taking the tag onto Sen, and that is a mean tag at that. That has nothing to do with what you were calling pig shit ping before, by the way. I will have you know the same from the same location as Ranga. I will have none of this slander. No, but in all honesty, it is. So in regardless, we're going to be taking this kick onto that generator over at 3, and now opting to vault the window over towards the Shack, and we're going to opt to go for something a little bit more in our favor. There's just so much gen pressure on different generators. We are 3 splitting all these. My God, where do we go from here? If only we have... Oh, wait, we do have eruption out of disposal. Oh, my. Okay, I'm smashed. So now we see the scratch marks over at 9 as well, and this will be Baki. He's going to have an absolutely clean chase to be able to pull them back in the game now. Pre-dropping this 7 car pallet here and bolting it in the process. He's going to be able to break away, break the distance all the way down to the bottom side of the map. I think he's going to try and opt to die a little bit more in the deep pocket if he does manage to get tagged here, but not managing to get tagged, and we're going to opt to go all the way over to 3. If we can get a quick down onto Sen, this could be pretty detrimental for our survivors once again, Joms.
There's something jiggy around the rock too, and Ranga has missed a couple of dashes this trial. Does have the gloves to make up for that, and the beetle also quite a standard out on a Wreckers. They do pop the gen in the background. One of the gens that had eruption on it, the 3 gen you were alluding to, Buller. So quite a good gen split for the survivors now. He still does have 12, 11, and 9 and Shaq. So that's probably what he's looking to hold, but honestly, yeah, the survivors are playing super well. Ranga's sort of he's sort of playing it a bit I don't want to use the words carefree, but he's playing very aggressive is what I'll say. And I'm not too sure how it'll work out. He's honestly got more hooks than I would at this point, I'll be completely honest, but yeah, no, the survivors are playing well, he's playing well. It's honestly very intense to see. Intense and interesting is the words I'm going for.
Yeah, definitely. A very aggressive game from the man himself, but in all honesty, if he can just keep up this pressure, then he definitely has the chance to meet his win con of a 4K2. Now, Baki doesn't really have anywhere to go. He's going to have to opt to die all the way in the corner of 5. Now going to be playing around this little trash loop over in the edge map, and we're just going to bounce off that wall, but nevertheless, we get the eruption proc on our generators in the background, so we were able to get that down in the process, but that could have been detrimental if we missed the second dash onto Baki now, taking this hook onto him, and we'll be going back on Gen Patrol. We have a nice 4 gen. We do have Shaq 12, 11, and what seems to be 9. If we can just get maybe a central hook in here, we can definitely apply a much more pressure. Nodding, I'm not too sure what we're nodding at. Nodding at maybe acknowledging the fact that, hey, well, actually, no, we're just seeing Sen over in the background taking... he wants him to take chase all the way into the bus, but we do see 12 in the background popping. We are at our win con now, so if we are to win the game on the side of Sanity, we need everybody dead now, which means that we will be opting to chase Baki, who is running into the gens. Very interesting play, not opting to go for 6. Playing a little bit patient. It's going to spell the down onto him. We can definitely hold this, Jumps.
Yeah, that was quite a 2-tap chase from Ranga. Maybe what you need. He's been playing a bit bounce around the, you know, splitting rotation. We see Sen on the gen in the background. He's not committing it, so not playing as aggressive as he needs to. Just going to sit here and really wait. Oh, the gen wasn't even really that close, to be fair. So just going to wait for that eruption. I could only assume Deep 6 has been being sit. I don't know the correct term, but I'm assuming Benny's on it is what I'm trying to say. Or Stract, one of the two. I'm assuming, I think it's Benny though, unless this is Benny. Yeah, so it's definitely Benny down Deep 6. I'm assuming the general pop probably for this chase that Stract's about to have. And if it doesn't, then 9 will definitely pop. So, yeah, all things considered, really well played to the team of Zetsubou. It was quite an easy win con to meet. 4K0 is not... 4K1, sorry. So they're only at Tycon. I'm speaking out of my ass, bro. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 4K1 is the Tycon, but like with how these matches are going, it was very... it definitely could have well been the win con from what we were gathering, but nevertheless going to still be taking the chase onto Sen now, and we do see that generator over at 9 being worked in the background. If we were to pull this back on the side of the killer, we had to down Stract and his happy Dwight hat over at 11, just unfortunately not being able to do so now. Unfortunately not even slamming Sen into any of the walls. That is most unfortunate. Missing the dash as well, but going for a little bit of an Urotech, but not quite getting it, and now we're going to have to go all the way back onto Gen Patrol to try patrol this 4K1. However, that is not going to be the case. The Gen is going to pop in our face, and that will be the win of this set going towards Zetsubou. Very, very well played to the bros, if I do say so myself. Now opting to take this chase back onto Stract. We'll be utilizing this bus pallet but opting maybe to go a W a little bit away from that and go all the way back down to his gate. I didn't get to see where the gates were, so we do have one over at 3, and are we able to get this down onto Strack? No, we're going to get this quick tag onto Benny here. The flashlight coming in from Sen as well with the champion of light effect. It's just going to be a 3-man out, and I do say that will put us at 5 stages, 3 fresh. It's a very good result from the survivors.
Yeah, I mean, the Survivor team you're versing, I mean, they did better than anyone that I know could probably do. I can't lie.
And welcome back to the second set of the first series of the night, where we'll be seeing Sir Smonk for the side of Sanity play the Cenobite on the Father Canvas Chapel on the Survivor side. For Zetsubou, we have Baki, Senstract, and Benny, the exact same team you saw in the last match. Now, you can expect outs on a Cenobite set. It is very common for that to be happening throughout this tournament with this sort of balancing is definitely what we're accommodating for. Now, all things considered, Smonk is a very good Cenobite for what it is worth, Jams. You know what it's like. I know what it's like. Would you like to enlighten the rest of the audience on what it is like to verse Smonk on the Ceno?
I've only played on a team with Sir Smonk once, prior to this. I don't really scrim Mr. Smunk. Didn't actually know he was actually that active in scrimming. But with all that being said, he is one of the more intelligent Cenobite mains that does grace our good Earth. On God's Greens, my prediction would probably be he will get, I'm gonna say 7-4. Which would be a really good result. A good win con for his survivors to try and match. Because honestly, Cenobite on Father Campbell's Chapel, with like you said, the balancing we have, it should just be outs every day of June, July, August, September, October, and the first months that I forgot as well, G. So
Anything from January to May as well that you may have missed, but nevertheless, we're going to be seeing Smonk spawn all the way over at Deep 12 and rotate to this bottom side of the map, where we'll be trying to see if we can spot any stealth outs. Now, the build that we have is Corrupt Intervention, Bamboozle, Pain Res, and Eruption. Very stock standard for your B tier killers. And on the side of our add-ons, we have, I do believe that is the Impaling Wire and I'm not too sure what that last add-on is. I remember Skewered Rat always being the one that was paired with Impaling Wire, but it's going to be very interesting to see how these add-ons work in this game. Nevertheless, we'll be taking chase onto Benny, who will be vaulting the shack window, trying to take chase around this tile now. Ooh. Getting mind gamed as well. We're going to be giving Smoke a little bit of a kiss, but then slapping him in the process with the shack pallet. That was really unexpected. My God. Now we're going to continue the chase back on to Benny, who will be running all the way to what seems to be the bottom side of the map. I'm not too sure if this is him trying to play the check spot or if he was able to make... No, he wasn't able to make main. He was able to vault this pallet. Now he's just going to have to last a little bit longer, maybe for a gen pop. He's going to have to vault this window, medium vault. Oh. And makes that on ping! This man, oh my Lord. Anyway, missing that swing is Smonk, keeping the chase onto Benny. Benny able to dodge the chain once more. Smonk kind of fumbling the bag a little bit here. He does need to get this down. He needs to get it down quick. He has Bam at his disposal to Bam the shack window, but not going to opt to do so. He's going to be taking chase back onto Benny, who will be utilizing both of these tiles really effectively, not opting to go for the tile beside of Shack, and now going for another fillet that just happens to be on our 5 side, but he will be going down. And even though that chase has been longer than expected, we do not see any gens pop in the process. Now, if we can get a quick pain res on the side of Smonk, we can take this back if you're on the side of Sanity, Jams.
Yeah, that was a cracking chase from the bro Benny on the Benny. That was beautiful to see. The add-on in question, Frank's Heart, is this increases the casting ratio, just how far he can put his power forward. Increased by, I believe, 6? Is it 6 or 4? I don't know. Someone tell me. I think it's 4. But regardless, though, that is 2 gens popping in the background. One thing I will say about Sir Smunk, great Cenobite main, of course. He's also a victim of impulse, using his power for impulse, I should say. Happens to me on the Billy, happens to Snags on the Blood, happens to Sir Spunk on the Cena, but sometimes we just overpower in situations where you don't really need the power. Maybe you can just walk around and follow for the M1. It is a character flaw of all of us. It's a character flaw of many people. It's actually quite common. We do see Stract making that as well on pink. Cracking, oh my god, almost took the bro's hat off with that chain. He's gonna have to leave though and probably go back and find Benny. I'm not too sure if he's at a point in this game where he can tunnel now. That first chase on the Benny was very long. And honestly, the good part about this for Zetsubou would be is that Benny's been full reset in the background. So he's going to be able to take 2 health states, probably even a little bit longer considering he has Lithe in his back pocket, which we saw in the first chase. But cracking chain from Sir Smunk. I don't even know if Benny will make this filler. He does make the filler, so even longer now for Sir Smunk to get that tag. And yeah, he doesn't care. He's just trying to find the freshers now, I believe, which is probably his best bet play for those pain reses. Maybe get that wink wink 4 fresh. I was talking about 7. So yeah, I don't know. He's got Gen's bottom. Buller. He does have Gen's bottom. They're not great. Usually you want to try and hold the top side gens on this map, but yeah, no, that first chase, as I said, was just too long, way too long.
Too long in the right spot for our survivors. And yes, like you had said, Smunk is just opting to go for the freshers, as if you know the Smunk type of thought process. He will say, basically, if you get to this point of the game and you haven't really gotten your tunnel out on its on the second stage at that point in time, oh my god, we actually make that. My lord, that is absolutely crazy from our ace here. Sen going to opt to go all the way down to main. No, going to be continue to loop this filler pallet. But yes, going back on that thought of us. Oh my, wait, the head on? No, wait, we're not on generators? That is absolutely crazy. We're going to be able to avoid the tag. And yes, Stract is going to be able to break free. We've lost Sen, so we've lost our fresh hooks. Like, yes. So Smunk opting to go for fresh hooks, definitely in what he seems to see in the games for sure. Like, that's what he usually does. As soon as he notices that he's not able to get his tunnel out as quickly as possible, he'll opt to go for fresh. But he realizes now that no one is on. Oh well. Sorry, yeah, both those fresh hooks were not on generators, so he's going to opt to go for his tunnel. He knows he has enough time in this game to get this down onto our survivor, Benny here, and if he does, he can pull it back from the 4K1 and manage to keep all his generators, even though, like you said, that the top side of the generators, the top side of the map have been broken of its 3-gen. Smog can still pull this back on the bottom side, I do believe. So if we look at our split here, we do have 4-5. It does look like 12. There's a generator over 12 here, and what seems to be main, I do believe. Okay, so no, 3-4 main, which is our 3-gen. This is definitely holdable. It's going to be a little bit harder than holding a top side 3-gen like you were mentioning, but yeah, Smog, I guess, yes, is going to be still playing for those fresh hooks, but he has the potential to just tunnel out Benny now, which is like very good to have it at our disposal now, noticing that, yes, with all altruism taken into account just before that, there is no gen pressure to facilitate. I'm just kind of sounding like a broken record at this point, but we're going to go into more recent events. We're going to be taking this kick onto the main generator and now going to chase our ace all the way. Oh no, we're going to opt to chase Backy, who had been working this 4 generator over this TNL, now taking chase all the way over down to the shack and this filler pallet. Now, no resources to be used after this shack pallet is broken here, but we're going to opt to get this chain onto Backy very nicely by Smunk. The tag coming in now. I can only assume that somebody's going all the way over to the bottom side of the, the top side of the map to unhook Benny. We see another gen in the background, proc, and yes, like clockwork, we are just going to continue to try and get these fresh hooks, Jarms.
Yeah, I think Sir Smog recognizing main would probably pop by the time that it would be worth chasing. I believe that was Sen who was on main, so opting to choose to chase Backy, who was working down on 5. Actually, very, very intelligent macro from the big man. We do see main is the gen that hasn't been popped yet, which is very intriguing. So they actually have a lot more pressure than you and I first thought to believe, Buller. That was 3 gens above 60, because I'm assuming 4 hasn't popped, unless it has and I'm just completely wrong, which... yeah, we saw 4 hasn't popped, so I'm just skitching. So they did pop another gen somewhere. I'm not too sure where that was, but again, amazing gen pressure from all the boys. We saw Backy before working that gen 60, main from Sen 80. and they popped a different gen somewhere else. Like, it just speaks volumes to how efficient these blokes are playing. And Benny's chases this game have been, like, amazing. You would think he was the best player on this team mechanically, and from those chases definitely was. We do see Strack, though, speaking of mechanics, getting into chase here, does slow vault back on this small tile. We see Benny coming in. Benny's going to take a hit pretty prematurely, I'd say, for Strack on this tile. We do miss a chain down on this 2 side of the map, and Strack's going to continue to tunnel out onto Smonk's going to continue to tunnel out onto Strack, I should say, or the fresh hook pursuit, as they would say. Benny's just going to stand here and sort of pressure the hook now, and this will be Sir Smunk going for 3-6, I believe. So one shy of what I believed he would have got. So not a bad result. It was just that Benny chase at the start, maybe sort of setting back a couple miles.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of point in times with this match that we got a little bit caught up in what do we do? You know, just a few too many. Oh no. Oh, that is unfortunate for Smonk, but very fortunate for our survivors. If you are on the side of Zetsubou now, the proc hit's coming in from our ace, who is Sen. He's going to be taking this tag, and the only survivor that we can manage to probably get down is our Nicolas Cage, but it doesn't look like we're going to be getting. They're going to be making it out for a 2-stage game with 1 fresh on the board. That is just upsetting, to be honest. We did anticipate that there would be more stages on the board for our killer here, John.
I mean, yeah, it's been done before. It'll be done again for, you know, time to come. Will now be the time it happens? I don't know. I'd like to think so. I'd like to think Sanity have some sort of belief in themselves to sit up and kind of acknowledge the fact that, you know, if we do lose, you know, that's sort of a pretty anticlimactic end to what I personally know they would be, you know, striving to achieve their goals in a sense, which their goals is to have fun, as should be everyone's goals in this tournament, just to have as much fun as possible, but still get your bread on the side, of course. But regardless of what all that nonsense has been, you know, yapped about, I do think it is very, very favorable for Baki. And if we do want to talk logistics of you know, him achieving this, you know, result, this does mean that they will play Resurrection next week. Zetsubou, that is, Buller. So quite an interesting matchup. We watched Resurrection last night, actually, you know, kind of be the underdogs and beat Renewal, who I thought was going to, you know, take it the whole way. Now, something I also want to know, Baki bringing Bam and Sloppy. I wanted to make a note. Sir Smunk did not bring Sloppy last roll. He brought Eruption. I actually was going to make a note, Buller, while you were talking, that I would have actually preferred to see Sloppy. Did actually get a few tags, and I think Baki is about to get a free tag onto Ranger right at the start of this trial, so not the tag you really want to be giving, and not as fortunate RNG for the boys on the side of Sanity here. We are going to see one of the bros, I believe that was Smokey, in the place of Nosy, so stepping up and filling the shoes of using that head on. Rang able to make it back to Shaq, and we see Baki now going to just choose to commit Smokey, which is probably a good option, knowing that he does have the Sloppy Butcher active. Another, you know, quality addition to probably what, you know, if you had to go for a more realistic win con, I think Sloppy would play a massive favor in that for sure. But did bring the Bam as well, something that I think a lot of M1 killers who do receive this map as their comp map opt to go for as the main building is very, very, you know, upsetting to play against. But we do finally see Smokey going down there, down sort of at the 5 area, not really behind Shaq like we saw Benny last game. So he's able to actually make this mid hook. Is a pain res as well, and Ranger's still not been reset, so they are opting to go for sort of the, you know, push the gens, a bit more aggressive playstyle, which, I don't know, you can go for either. You could play really, really slow, or you can play really, really fast. You kind of get lost, you kind of lose the potential to get the win con when you don't choose one or the other and you deviate in between both. So I hope that they can sustain the pressure. We do see Ranger sitting the furthest gen outside of, you know, pretty much where the killer would proxy around. So that's good to see from him. We do see Neckbeard getting into chase. He's going to have to force a trade off the rip. So those two stages, if Baki decides to pick, which he will, which is a smart decision, is going to be coming through right now. So with all that being said, Buller, that is 2 stages too fresh in the WinCon, Tycon, I should say, already being met.
No, it is the win con. It was too fresh against just the 2 hooks onto Benny last game. So yes, we will be seeing the win go to Baki before the first gen has
I swear
popped.
Baki got hooked last trial, Buller.
He got hooked twice. So he got hooked fresh hook in second. Well, Baki went down and got pallet save.
Oh.
Yeah. See, you blink, you miss it. It's just like, it's so crazy how that actually works. Even I kind of thought, yeah, maybe this was a 3-stage. But after checking with the refs over in the back of, the behind the scenes type of thing, we did note that, yes, it was a 2-stage 1 fresh with a 3-stage win con. So yes, very well played by Baki to be able to pull it back by the fresh hook. Now, we're going to still opt to play for the best possible result. As the game unfolds here, I do say we're heading more towards the maybe a 4K2, 4K1, but chases are just a little bit too short, unfortunately. We do hear some gen pressure over at main, but as we take this hook onto Smokey, this will be his second hook of the trial, if I'm not mistaken, and it is. Now he is hooked over towards this 5 gen, and what does our gen split look like at the moment? It is kind of split, so definitely looking more favorable in the terms of our survivors here. So maybe we can pull it back to a few outs, but I can't really see more than just 3 stages out the door. I can't lie to you, Johns, but nevertheless, we'll be taking chase onto Supersaurus here, who was hiding all the way over at the shack, getting this unhook, onto Smokey as well. Are we going to opt to tunnel Smokey? We're going to opt to go for the fresh hooks. We're opting to go for Supersaurus here, who's going to be pre-dropping the pallet over at this pallet gym over at 4. The debuting survivor himself. What can he pull out of the hat? Can he do a little bit of jiggy? Can he survive long enough for his team to get some good gen pressure over in the back of the map? Now bolting into the shack and getting pinned by the chains is Supersaurus, and he will be going down into the corner of 5. So making do with what he has, not many resources to be utilizing here, unfortunately. So all things considered, it wasn't too bad. We're going to be taking this pick up onto Supersaurus and hooking him more central now. Very smart by Baki to be able to do this, and now he's going to be able to have a lot more options to control the map once this hook takes place. Instead of hooking somewhere like basement, you want to opt to go for somewhere where you can scare the survivors off the generators in the process, as well as Supersaurus is going down to second if we can. So now taking the kick onto, I do believe this is 7. Sorry, my call-outs on this map can be a little bit twisted. Sometimes we do see Neckbeard, who was working that 7 gen all the way behind that rock there. We do see one in the background being worked on by Smokey and Ranger somewhere off in the distance working another generator. We do happen to find our stealth out Neckbeard, who is in chase currently over towards the bottom side of the map, all the way down into the shack corner. So very nice and far away from the generators, but somewhat still close to the hook, and we've been able to make that too. That is absolutely crazy. Some nice ping on the side of Neckbeard there. Now we're going to opt to go for our tunnel out here, or we're just going to try to get Ranger out of the game. So Ranger pre-dropping this godforsaken pallet outside of main, now getting chained in the process, utilizing the window and making it on Big Shit Ping is absolutely crazy. Now he's going to be able to vault that pallet outside of main as well and make enough distance without a tag. We see the 3rd generator of the trial in the background proc. Now we're going to take this kick onto main. Very close to being done at the moment. Not too sure why we've 99'd it, but we have. I think that was Ranger sitting that generator who went to go for the unhook earlier on while Neckbeard was getting chased over in 5. But yes, we do see the generator over in the top side of the map being popped, which was 1. And now we see the triple reset over at 1 as well. We're going to opt to go for one of these chases here. One that's going to be in our favor. We do see the injured survivor, who is Supersaurus, not being able to make anything. He was going to try to make that pallet, but even I could have seen that. That was a little bit... I don't know the word for it. It was he was wishing for it, definitely. I can't get the word off the top of my head. Jumps.
And just a couple of good plays from Baki. Honestly, he's playing very, very well. The survivors are actually playing quite nicely as well. They do have a lot of pressure on the board in terms of gens, and we do see one of the bros, I believe this is Smokey. He's just trying to pressure this pallet save, and we do see Smokey get tagged there. That's not the worst tag to give him. We see Baki try and swing through. I actually do have it on authority too, Buller. That last game was actually three fresh. Sorry, 3 stages, 2 fresh. So I don't know who you're getting information from, Big Buller, but yeah, I thought back he got pain res, and I'm pretty sure he did. I still could be wrong, so if I am wrong, I could look like the biggest fool in the world. But yeah, no, honestly, good, well played this Zetsubou. As I said, they will play Resurrection next week, and that'll be probably your interesting, most exciting matchup for, you know, the semi-finals, if you will. And on the other side, we will have Gospel versus whoever the winner of tonight's matchup after this will be. So that'll be Void versus Kaido Kids. Probably a more what's the word I could use here? Probably a more intense matchup you'll probably find as opposed to this one. Although all things considered, Sanity did play really well in that West cassette, so that needs to be noted. Yeah, no, well played again. It's hard to really knock anything that Zetsubou did. They played flawlessly on Killer, on Survivor, really much everywhere. Coming in for the body block is Supersaurus, and I'm glad to see that Sanity are still trying to give this a red hot crack and trying to still low stage a very, very renowned killer main in Baki got bans. And we do see Supersaurus now trying to play this little short toll. He does get healed mid-chase. Oh, adrenaline baked. I don't have the sound on.
Yeah, definitely the adrenaline coming in, and yeah, you're right. It was 3 stages. I did double check with the refs, and I was notified that it was 2 stages. So that's what I thought, but unfortunately, it wasn't the case. So now that that's fixed, regardless, we will be seeing the sixth stage of the trial coming in with the 3rd fresh hook. I do say that will be the end of Neckbeard. Now, yeah, just again, it was a pretty good performance put up by the survivors, all things considered, definitely. But with seeing Neckbeard close out in the trial, 7 hooks going to them, we will be seeing Zetsubou advance to the next part of the tournament where they will be versing, I do believe it is Resurrection. So yes, gonna be a very interesting matchup, that one, definitely, from what we had seen last.